this idea that life is miserable is your own personal decision to make. But like the Catholic Church, I don't...
No, don't even go near that religious crap. And it's not about life being miserable. Again, so you can't even paraphrase the argument correctly. I bet I've had more fun with my penis in my lifetime than you have. I bet I have. I bet I have had more comfortable moments, maybe even. Joyful moments. I bet I've had better ecstasy. I bet I've climbed higher mountains than you.
Well, this is new. You finally acknowledge my point that those that believe in antinatalism, it's not because they've actually suffered a lot. It's probably the opposite. That those of us that have suffered more value life more. Ironic. On the other hand, perhaps the fact of the matter is that your comfortable life and penis moments do not satisfy you for some reason. Perhaps joyful penis moments don't really add up to that much. Perhaps the idea that they do is just a youthful illusion that healthy people outgrow.
That's not the argument. The argument isn't this idea that I'm not sitting around all day fucking moping, asshole. Get a clue. Life isn't like, oh, you had a happy life or you had a sad life. It doesn't work that way, retard. Again, you're going to talk about how you apply your magnificent brains to analyzing systems, and you can't even get that there's no fucking way you can describe a life that way. A life, it can last, 100 fucking years of experiences. You just can't sum them up with stupid little words like happy and sad.
Wow, Gary, geez, maybe I should have made that first video. I didn't know you were going to get into this part where you're just admitting everything I'm saying. Yeah, you've been saying life could be summed up to a sum negative. You have said that in hundreds and hundreds of videos. So, yeah, you're the one that's been saying it could be summed up. And you have the answer of what to do with the sum. So, yeah, you are finally admitting what I said. See, so I finally have you arguing that you can't sum life up. Right? I finally have you arguing that only through a really pleasurable life can you see how it's still not good enough. And you don't know, and I won't ask you to know, how good life can seem when you overcome obstacles. You say that you don't want to, so why should you? Well, I'll just let you say it.
Oh, no. The principle we're starting from is you don't gamble with other people's money.
I'm not gambling with other people's money, Gary. I'm not your grandfather. If your grandmother says otherwise, I'm sorry. It's not true. I'm not your grandfather. I didn't gamble with your existence, your potential existence, any repeated existence that you're worried you might have to endure again if reincarnation is true, I guess. I am not responsible for that. I gambled with my life. I'm sorry, my sperm cells are a part of my body. They're not like skin cells. Yes, I know, and neurons aren't like skin cells, and liver cells aren't like skin cells. But they are a part of my body, and the egg is a part of the mother's body. We were gambling with our lives. Oh, but it will become something different. Not necessarily. Lots of conceptions don't make it to birth. Lots of children don't make it to an age of majority, even if you want to place that at 10. So, no, I did not gamble with your life. I gambled with my life, which would become a separate creature. And that's my gamble. Stop acting like I gambled with the whole human race. That's just not true. I am not your grandfather. I'm not the one you're trying to blame for bringing you into existence.
You cannot tell me. I do not recognize your right to tell me whether life is worth living.
Yeah, right, exactly. You can tell me that I will live the life you inject and impose on me, all right? But I can't tell you to stop it.
Do whatever you want to do with your life to change that.
Yeah, the life I didn't want. I don't want to change it, all right? Why should I have the obligation to fix it? Again,
to fix it. Who the fuck else is supposed to fix it? Why is it my obligation? Again, I'm not your grandfather. You're asking me to fix a problem that your grandfather created, which was a miserable person that could see that life sucked even though they weren't miserable and so was miserable, or whatever the fuck you're trying to say. Why is that my responsibility to fix for you? Why is it my responsibility to fix the fact that, yeah, I'm genetically predisposed to think that life is worth giving a try? Why do I have to fix that? You are sitting there going, I don't want to have to fix it. Why should I fix it for you? There is no reason. Yeah, fuck you. Fix it yourself. And when it comes to caring about the life and the chance and fixing it with my kids, I expended a great amount of my resource and time and life trying to fix that for the only people that really have a place to say this shit you're trying to say.
You fucking fart the egg on a pile of dog shit. The egg hatches, it says, what is this shit? And you say, fix it yourself.
Again, no, that's not what I did. Maybe you're thinking about your grandparents. I have continually worked on improving the nest that the kids were in. They are intelligent and will be able to figure out, I think, the things that I hadn't figured out and couldn't teach them. And so, fuck you. I put them on a nice little nest. Speak for yourself. It's not like I gave birth to them in New Jersey. I'm from California. Paradise, man.
Fuck you!
Okay, you're right. I just like to tease New Jersey sometimes. Most people from New Jersey can take it.
You are the imposition.
I think it's disgusting that you blame all the problems that someone would go through on the fact that they were brought into existence. It's disgusting. I mean, it's like if a child is raped by a pedophile, you're going to blame the parent because the parent, tempted the pedophile. The pedophile, of course, is also to blame in your system, but then again, he's just a bunch of urges. That's just how people are. So it was the temptation and the blank slate for sin that the parent provided. You see people in a concentration camp and go, oh, look, those parents, what they did to them. You're a fucking moron if you can't focus in a little bit more on the goddamn Nazis being a little bit part of the cause.
Taking a shot at it is worth it. And yeah, even if it's completely horrible, well, too bad. You can't get a refund from me.
You can get a refund. You can get a refund. You can take your own life. That's the refund you can have. I'm gambling with my life at the time that I conceive. And then once it becomes obviously an individuated someone else's life, they can decide. That is the refund. And by doing it this way, people that decide they like life don't have to take the refund. They don't have their life revoked or avoided. You see? And you keep saying, what good would that do? Well, if every slave ever was like, I am not into this captivity and I'm going to die, which plenty of animals in captivity, they're hard to even keep in captivity, let alone get them to reproduce. And they won't eat and they just commit an animal kind of suicide. They don't want to live. They don't want to eat, lose their urges to do those things. Humans aren't like that. But if they were, yeah, I think it'd make a difference in the history of slavery if you couldn't keep slaves and have them reproducing. If you always had to go catch them and then they only lasted a few months or a year until they died, yeah, I think that might have stopped that practice of slavery if humans were like that. So yeah, it would help. And you don't seem to realize one crucial part of your Titanic metaphor, which is actually if you jump off the Titanic, maybe it won't sink. Maybe it's your weight pulling down the Titanic. All the people that are on the boat going, it sucks being on the boat. I wish I was just dead. Well, why don't you jump? I want you all to die. Yeah. So the sad part is you're showing just incredibly ridiculous value system. You think it's a higher priority to blame parents than to blame real criminals, and you are confused about whether I brought you into existence or not, and just in general, we're at the psychological point, Gary. You need someone to blame for your existence, and you're trying us on YouTube. Well, I'm not those people. If you had a sadistic ancestor, it wasn't me. All right.